I protect myself from the police. I gotta protect myself from the police because when they're around, there's never really any peace. You see, I constantly walk in a state of grief because in their eyes, I always fit the profile of a thief. Whether it's after dark or during the daylight, I'm constantly in a state of fright. Not from the darkness of the night, but instead because of the police who never wants to treat us right. You know, our kind, black people. So in my mind, I wonder what exactly the artiste was thinking when he completed that painting on their vehicles. Because on the side of the squad cars, I see writing that says, to protect and serve. But that truly makes me confused because all they ever seem to want to do is get on my last stinking nerves. When I'm just trying to stroll through the mall. When I'm just trying to hit up the park, just trying to play me some ball. They were always quick to pull us over, tapping us on their shoulders, asking us the same stupid questions. But that was a scene while we were teens, right? But as we grew older, come to think of it, as we grew older, the tapping was still pretty much still on our shoulders. And the only thing that changed was that we made a trade with our bicycles for the subway trains. But it seemed that at each intersection there was still always a random inspection of perpetrators who all seemed to resemble the same shade of darkness. You see, we were students of the same grade of randomness, but their random acts were seemingly only directed at blacks. We were randomly selected to be prejudged with racial profile attacks. Random acts of violence that ended on blood-stained street corners where dead black men would be chalked out on the floor, as the newscasters would casually ignore the fact that there were no chalk traces of a weapon in sight, just the residue of a frustrated black boy who was tired of the fight, tired of being harassed in the middle of the night, tired of being judged as wrong when he knew he was right, tired of being shot for some Skittles candy and a can of Sprite, tired of being disallowed to exhibit the light. Because, if we smile at their nonsense, we aren't being contrite. But if we give them a stern face, we are exhibiting aggressive might. So I gotta protect myself from the police. Because when they're around, I can never find any peace. In their eyes, I always fit the profile of the thief. And no matter what my belief is about myself, in their mind, they have already sized me up, measured my fabric, folded me neatly with handcuffs, and placed me on a shelf. Or rather, in a cell. You know, because he's the popo, the integrity eater. Always on patrol, he's the black man seeker. He wants to put you in a prison cell and there he'll keep you very well. Not on my watch. No longer in jail cells will I dwell. I have no drugs to sell. I have a story to tell. I have a life to live. And I'm gonna ring that bell of consciousness so that my community will arise and accomplish their best. But until then, I gotta protect myself from the police. Because even behind their smiles, I see clearly through their disguise, and I'm quite perturbed at their numerous lies. The kind they give as to why we were stopped on the street side, while criminals of a lighter shade continue to safely ride. Because they see us coming and already they decide, guilty. In their mind they say, you're guilty. Your kind will never be free. You're guilty. You're always in some type of criminality. You're guilty. No need to utter a plea. You're guilty. Guilty of first degree blackness. So I protect myself from the police by educating my mind. And I know that The quest of my education will be vindicated in due time, because I refuse to stop learning until the day arrives when the next time they pull me over, they'll have to call me doctor. Because it's a little bit harder to harass a man whose vocabulary is larger. And with my eloquence, I will remember the days when I was being treated as a martyr. I will remember the days when I was being beaten with the use of fire engines and with the pressures of water. I will remember the days when I had 2 diplomas and 2 degrees, trying to stand proud with my integrity, walking bold and upright with every inch of my 6'3". But it never seemed to matter how tall I would stand, because when they were finished degrading me, I always felt like I was walking on my knees as less than a man. Yes, I will remember from how far I've come, and I will remember the patrons that went before me. I will remember the battles they've won, so that on that one day, I will be able to stand as tall as a tree, look at that police officer straight in the eyes as he takes a look at my ID and starts to cringe as he stares at the acronym that spells PhD, and he hands me back my documents with an embarrassing decree, stating quite humbly, "Good night, Dr. Donaldson. Please pardon me. It's so very clear you're a man of integrity. You know, we can never be too careful, but we are here to protect thee."